Appreciate y'all for pulling up. I'm your host, Gabo Say So, and we back on another one. We got DJ Vlad. DJ Vlad? Who calls him DJ? Nobody calls you DJ Vlad. We got Vlad Goes Full Police on Black Professor. All right, let's get right into it.
While we had all this stuff going on with Drake and Kendrick Lamar, everyone giving their own opinion, we had another crazy saga with none other than DJ Vlad and some professor, writer, something along those lines that also worked with Princeton in some capacity, Princeton University. So this all started with DJ Vlad giving his thoughts, and he said the following. He just gave his honest opinion and said, Kendrick's Not Like Us needed a better mix. It takes away from the song. And this woman named Morgan Jerkins just comes out of nowhere and says, you are white. This is a black folk affair. Which, like, well, all right, I guess, both of your hands raised up, palms out. And Vlad says, wait, so a professor and he tags, at Princeton, is telling me that a white person shouldn't be allowed to voice their opinion about hip-hop? Is that how you interact with your students? And she says, what I'm saying is that you put your opinion in a discussion that's not needed. This conversation is and should center black people, not you. I don't see how that discussion was centering Vlad whatsoever. He's just another one of tens of millions likely that are giving their opinion. He says, don't try to change your words now. I'll be reaching out to at Princeton about this on Monday. And Vlad, I'm not going to co-sign the hate he got, but understandably, I see why he got a ton of hate. It's just like, you just got to understand that in this case, you're going to get the hate. It's somewhat of a Karen moment from Vlad. And what happens next? Well, he gets a ton of hate. And what he says next is, since it's Monday, let me clear the air and state that I never had any intention of filing a complaint to Princeton for former Professor Morgan Jerkins saying that white people aren't allowed to comment on Kendrick Lamar's music. She trolled me and I trolled back. At the end of the day, it created an interesting discussion about race relations in America. I'll be discussing it further in my future interviews. Vlad should...
One thing for damn sure, ain't nobody was trolling. There was no LOLs. Like we know. They both weren't trolling, son, but okay.
Knowing better, this lady was not going to lose her job or anything for coming at white people. You don't lose work for that in America. Go in on white people. Now, if you go in on something else or a couple of other things, yeah, you will lose your job. You will lose a bunch of things. You may even get debanked. But coming at white people, nah, that's free game. So feel free to do so and feel free to continue to do so if you're one of those people. I'm not here to defend white people. They should do that themselves. So then she replies and says, also, we know he was not trolling. He was tagging them multiple times. A lie. He tagged my employer multiple times with the intention to professionally harm me. I didn't troll. I centered black people in a discussion on hip-hop and told him to stand down because it's not his space. He's backtracking because he miscalculated. By the way, stop contacting my family. And, person says, we all saw him tag Princeton. She says, sure did. He thinks we don't understand his tactics. And then she says, now that he's walked it back, I have final projects from Princeton. That's such a crazy flex. And graduate theses to evaluate. Screenshots last forever. You tried to get violent and realized how many people were in my corner. Oops. This person is also insufferable. I think none of us are watching this and are like, yeah, go this woman or this girl. We're looking at it like, oh my goodness, I know this individual has to be a headache. I know she's got to be annoying. And I know she's got to drop so many. This person seems like the embodiment of the annoyance that No Name is on social media. She even kind of has that same typing style. This is like a No Name or a Chica, like Chika, the rapper. This is that archetype. Vlad continues, it seems to be that he got the call from somebody, maybe Boosie or someone that told him to stand down even further, because after saying he was trolling, which we know he wasn't trolling, we know what he was trying to do. He was trying to not just have a care moment, but have a sly moment where he's like, oh, this is what y'all rocking with to Princeton in hopes that it would work. It would work if it were talking about several other groups of people that weren't white, but in this case, they were, so it didn't work. They were white is what I'm saying. So Vlad comes back again after getting flamed in the post where he was trolling. Like there were thousands of quote tweets. And he says, after considerable reflection, I would like to apologize to Morgan Jerkins for tagging her job in my replies during our Twitter exchange last weekend. Some people are saying they accept the apology, very few. A bunch of people are...
I'm not issuing an apology for shit, bro. These day and age, like, bro, I don't give a damn how you think, how you feel. Yo, bro, Vlad is so up there, and I get it. The internet is where the consumers lie. But people are never going to be satisfied with anything that you do. People, in fact, I've learned to believe they're just waiting for you to fail. Especially when you're one of the higher ups. They can't wait for your downfall, bro. Any type of mistake. And let's just say Vlad had a moment where he's self-reflecting, like, yo, you know what? Shit, I wasn't trolling. Let me hold myself accountable as a man and just apologize to this woman because I took it further than it needed to go beyond a Twitter response. Let me just apologize and let bygones be bygones. Then people still gonna bash you. It's the same shit I was saying about J. Cole. Why apologize? People are always gonna pick a side, and the people that are on the opposite side of the apology, they're living for this. You know what I mean? They're savoring the moment of you coming down to your knees and giving them the light that they're looking for. What the fuck you apologizing for? A bunch of random brokies sharing their opinions about your stance on Princeton and how is this the curriculum that there's being like nobody gives a fuck for real. Nobody really give a fuck for real. We'll forget about this in 2 hours.
Hating on him still. I don't think Vlad should have apologized. I don't know why he apologized because Vlad is rather, I wouldn't say stuck in his ways, but it's very difficult to get him to change his mind, let alone apologize. Because if you guys recall, when Godfrey and I think Lord Jamar were having an issue with Vlad, they were trying to press him to apologize to Minister Louis Farrakhan because he said Louis Farrakhan was anti-Semitic, and he would not budge on that. So, interesting, because Vlad is Jewish. Interestingly enough, Vlad decided to apologize on the white thing, but on the other topic, he decided to not apologize, stand on it, and Godfrey and Lord Jamar stopped working with him. They kind of started throwing dirt on his name, and Vlad pretty much shut them out and was never going to work with them again. Most likely won't work with them again. So I don't know why he apologized. I don't like what he did initially. I wouldn't say I don't like. The fact that he couldn't read the room surprised me a bit, especially since Vlad's been in hip-hop for, 30 years? Like, if you're white and then someone tells you, like, hey, sit down, white boy, you sit down. That's what you do in hip-hop. That's what you have to do. It's just a game. I don't make the rules. And to try to make any sort of claim of, oh, like what, you're saying I can't give my opinion? They're going to reply and say, yeah, that's exactly what we're saying. Nothing will happen to them. There will be no repercussion, and nobody's going to care because you're seen as white. That's just the nature of the game. It will give Vlad a lot of good content to ask the tons of interviewees that he's probably going to ask this question and have this back and forth with. But it is a very Karen moment. Usually Vlad would just not care what this person says. I'm pretty sure he's gotten this so many times. Vlad is also the person that he's not the person to say this because he's not liked. Like, for example, if this chick said that to Jack Harlow after he gave his own opinion, I think they would react to her differently because Jack Harlow is favored. People like him. And if people like you or don't like you has a very, very strong effect on how they're going to react to someone else. It's kind of like what I was saying
earlier. Like, if people don't like you and you apologize, like, they're going to kick you while you're down. You know what I mean? It's like one of those people you apologize to, but yet they still want to, rather than forgive and accept the apology, they still want to remind you of the wrong that you did. It's like, nigga, did you not hear the apology? The whole point is I apologize. So if my apology doesn't warrant your forgiveness, why the hell should I apologize? That's why you shouldn't apologize. These people don't matter. They're brokies, bruv.
Dishing hate at you. Like, if that lady said that about Jack Harlow, it'd be like, yo, what's wrong with you? Like, he's just giving his opinion. This guy's a rapper. We mess with him. You're weird. But since it's Vlad and the way that Vlad reacted, it just makes everything worse. And the fact that he tried to say he was trolling, man, Vlad don't do no trolling. That's one thing we know. Vlad does not troll whatsoever. I've never seen Vlad even attempt to troll. Vlad just comes out, says it direct, and people either like it or they don't like it. For the most part, they don't like it. They come at him. If you guys remember, he had this whole take on video games, or he's like, oh, if you play video games, you're a loser.
As an adult, playing video games for a long period of time is a form of depression. If you don't believe me, ask yourself this. Think about the 100 greatest moments of your life. Do any of those moments include video games? Probably not, and this comes from a lifetime gamer. What? A lifetime gamer saying that? Like, what?
Which I'm somewhat summing it up. That's not exactly or explicitly what he said verbatim, but I somewhat had not an agreement with what he said. I understood where he was coming from. I personally don't play video games, so I definitely resonated with it, especially as someone that did when I was a kid. I was like, yeah, I definitely see what he's saying. But people came at him hard for that one. That take always triggers people on social media. And he didn't budge. He didn't say he was trolling. He doubled down on it. and he went about his merry way. So I think someone that he respects or that he's close with told him to make this apology, and he ended up making it. It was a very caring move by him, but it was also a lame move by that lady. Although I don't think she expected to get a reply out of Vlad. A lot of times, people just, like her, or just in general, they just quote tweet someone, and they don't think that that person's going to reply, or even see it. So I think she was just doing it for her followers, or trying to get off whatever feelings that she has, and then Vlad replying sent her in a different direction. And the thing where she was like, oh, he was reaching out to her family members, I thought that was a bit odd, but hey, I don't know how Vlad moves behind the scenes. But let me know what you guys think about this whole situation. Who was more in the wrong here? And do you think Vlad was just right in the entire case? Do you think Vlad should have apologized? Let me know. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification
Only lesson
bell.
here is kind of like the same perspective I had with the whole J. Cole thing. Only apologize to people willing to forgive you, bro. You know what I mean? That's what it comes down. That's the lesson I feel like I'm learning here. Like, if I'm arguing with someone, if I'm in a debate with someone, or things get a little disrespectful, and this person has no respect for me, or just doesn't care for me, I just can't find myself issuing an apology if I know you're never going to accept it. You're just, whatever your stance is forever going to be your stance. Why am I apologizing? I would have just it's fucking Twitter. I don't care what y'all people think on fucking Twitter. Like, come on, man. I would have said what I said and kept it moving. And it was a caring moment by Vlad. Don't get me wrong. It was definitely a caring moment. You calling family, you calling her employer. What? Because she doesn't feel like, as a white man, your voice should matter in hip hop. Yeah, that's her discretion, bro. She's not the only person that feels that way. A lot of black people feel like white folks shouldn't have an opinion when it comes to hip hop matters. And I'm pretty sure there's this group of white people that feel like black people. Come on now. But yes, and I ain't issuing no apology if you have no intentions of accepting it. I'm good. Whatever it is, it is. We gonna stand on that. I'm gonna holler at you guys in the next video. Like, what? My bad.